Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Culture and the Cross, where we talk about the happenings going on at our church, the Rock Church, here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We talk about all of the things that we see all over social media and the news, and then we do some questions that need answers. And we're your hosts. I'm Artra.
I'm Corey.
Yes, and while you're here, smash that notification button. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Okay. But anyway, so on to the happenings at our church.
The happenings.
We had a Christmas party. Our
did.
third Christmas party.
It was.
Is it the yeah.
Yeah, it was the third one.
No, it's really the fourth one.
I think we had one in 2020.
We had one in our house.
Not in 2020, we didn't. So this is the third one.
No, it wasn't 2020. It was like 2021.
Well, then this will be the third one still.
Okay. Either way,
This is the third one.
we had a Christmas party, and it was a lot of fun.
No, wait. Is this the fourth one?
This is the fourth one.
Oh, did I say third all weekend?
You've been saying third all weekend.
Dang.
This is actually
Oh, this is the fourth.
the fourth
I
one.
literally said the third one.
The
other
very,
night.
very first one
was at our house.
was at our house.
Oh, yeah.
And we just played like,
Man.
I don't know, we was just
How long we been
hanging
doing
out.
this?
A
My
long
God.
time.
Why I say third?
I don't know why you said third.
Dang, I said it the whole time on Friday, too.
It's not the third. It was the fourth Christmas party
It is.
that we've done.
Yeah.
And I like the Christmas parties because they're kind of chill. We just play games. We eat good food. We hang out. We talk. We
Yeah.
do Soul Train line at the very end.
We did this time.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. We did it on Friday, and yeah, like Archie said, it's always chill. It's always, good time. We had some food, had some good food.
Yes.
And this year we did it differently. We did it at our church this year and just used our space, our sanctuary, our building, our sanctuary. It's all one, big old thing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of multi-purpose for us, so we're able to take the chairs out, put tables down. And last year we rented a venue to do it. And
we did.
We're not
gonna. We did not do that this year.
We didn't do that this year because
it was a really cute little space last year.
It was, and honestly, it was probably about the same amount of space. We could have just had it at our place.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking.
But we tried to do something different. We rented a venue last year, and this year we decided we don't need to rent a venue. Let's just have it at our church where we already are there.
This year, we added a table because the first one we had at our building, we didn't need as many tables.
We didn't.
We did not.
And this year we needed all of those tables.
Yeah, I had to go out and get more centerpiece table decorations and everything. So I was like, oh, we have everything we need. I don't need to
And then we didn't.
and think about it. And then the day before, as I was working on things, I realized, no,
Right.
we don't have enough. We have more people this time.
Yeah.
So
that was fun. It was good. We needed all the tables, all the space. It was a really good turnout for the party, which was good. And it seemed like everyone had a really fun time. Archer and I hosted the games. And there was one game in particular that we're never playing ever again. As long as we live.
So
whose idea was that game?
It was my idea.
Archer?
I'm not gonna lie. It was my idea.
No, it was. I thought it was gonna be a great game.
I thought it would be fun. So also, kids were there. Okay.
Yes.
So I was trying to come up with games that if kids wanted to participate, it really wouldn't be a big deal.
Right.
So the first game was, what did we do? Music trivia.
Yeah.
Which is, sit down because people are still kind of eating or whatever.
Right.
So we did a music trivia game, Christmas music trivia game where I played 5 to 10 seconds of a song and you have to guess the song. The second game was blindfold cotton ball game where you have to scoop up the cotton balls with a spatula or whatever and put them in the bucket. And kids played that game too, and it was fine.
That was fine.
It was fine.
Was fine.
What I have realized though is the people in our church are very competitive.
Yeah.
Very competitive.
The kids like games like that too.
But the kids also, right? That's why I did it, because I was like, we don't have a separate kids thing, and our kids are also, all the kids are also very competitive and want to play games. So anyway, the third game was basically musical chairs, but with candy canes.
Yes.
So you put the candy canes on the table. You walk as the music's playing. You walk around the table. When the music stops, you grab the candy cane.
Right.
This is when it took a turn. Because one of our young men, I don't, decided, hey, you know what? I'm really going to go for it. Yeah. So as he's even walking around the table, he's like tense, like, oh, I have to win. I have to win. And he was winning. So it came down to him and one of our other young ladies, and they're just mind you, they like deboed the little kids. They were out crying and everything. And they was like, snooze, you lose.
Hey.
But it's okay. They were okay after I gave them their little candy canes, and they were fine. But anyway, so the young man just walking around the table, he's all like, ugh. And then next thing I know, the music stops with him and our young lady. He dives across the table, almost smashes a little girl.
Table falls over.
The
other girl, the young lady, she like almost like in reaction to him, she dies on the table. They fall over the table. The table falls over. It's like 4 or 5 little kids, 6, 7, 8 years old.
One literally almost got squished.
Like, and we're all sitting there like. And I mean, some people were laughing off because it was. I mean,
at the end, it was hilarious, but also we won't be playing that game anymore.
I was like, we're never doing that again.
We're done.
Really gotten hurt. I mean, I felt like that felt like I've never been a youth minister or youth pastor, but that felt like how I hear like youth pastors talk about like, we're got
done.
Those kids hurt.
Yeah, we're not doing that again.
At the church lock-in.
I just thought it would be a fun little game because as adults, we're not walking around chairs. We're just, gonna walk around.
Musical chairs might have been better.
That's what I'm like. We probably should have done musical chairs.
Part of the issue was like it was the little kids, our kids, 6 and 8. Then there was a couple other kids in that same range that were in the game, and then it was the young guy. He was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Then it was a couple young ladies. They were like 19, 20. And then it was like I think one or two.
There were a couple of adults.
Yeah, a couple of like adults that played, and they kind of weren't going as hard. So I think that probably was the big issue that we had.
We probably should have just done musical. We should have just done musical chairs.
And we probably should have just mixed it up. Like, all right, this is the kids round of musical chairs.
We should've.
If you're under 10, and then we should have did like this the preteen, this the teenager to young adult. If you're 13 to 20, you're probably out.
Either way.
And then we should have did like the old heads. All right, if you're over 25, like let's go.
Either way, we won't be playing that.
We're not playing it again. No.
I have the video footage, and I've been watching it.
No, we don't want any evidence.
Yeah,
because I don't want anybody to be like, my back been hurting since Friday.
One of the young ladies did that TikTok trend, a subtle foreshadowing.
I haven't seen that one.
And she sent it to me. I sent it to you. It was really funny.
Well, I didn't see
you haven't seen the TikTok trend?
TikTok,
yeah, it's really funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I won't post it.
No, she posted on her page. That's fine, but we're not sharing that. So it was really a lot of fun. I mean, I saw, because I'm like gauging people's like, I'm looking and people are kind of smiling. Like they see it's kind of.
We were still laughing about it at church on Sunday.
Yeah, it was chaotic, but it was definitely one of those like, okay, thankfully no one got hurt. We're never doing that again.
We're done.
And if we ever do anything like that again, it'll be age-appropriate musical chairs for little kids, young adult teens, maybe.
In my mind, I saw the game and was like, "Oh, this should be."
Oh yeah, they'll just grab them.
But I'm thinking as a person that's not competitive. Like I don't care if I win or not.
But I wouldn't have like been like trying to knock them out.
But the people that we have, they are competitive.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just not. I don't care if we win or not.
No, from that first, the funny thing is that from the first time the music stopped and they all grabbed us, I said, this is going to be crazy.
I know.
And it was like 10 people too, so I was like, this is going to be a long, crazy game.
Yeah, and then like by the end of it, all the candy canes were like...
They were all broken
up. They were just crumpled.
Right, in the bag. Even the one he won... Like part of the piece that like half of the candy cane had come out.
It was gone.
So it was just dangling the top curved part, and then it was like plastic, and then the bottom part, and then the other piece was outside of the bag. I was like, how did it get outside?
They were being so rough with those candy canes.
But
I'm glad I bought so many.
Yeah, he won. He had a good time. It was very fun. I feel like that was crazier than when we had the teen night a couple months ago.
Oh my God, it was. They were not.
Now they played musical chairs. But they were all teenagers. So they were all in the same size range.
Yeah, but I wonder what it would have been like if we did the candy cane thing for them.
It would have been probably crazy.
Yeah, they probably would have jumped over the table again.
They weren't as, I don't
know. No, they were quite competitive for musical chairs as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't as, I don't know.
I don't know. We're not playing it no more.
Yeah.
That's done.
That was the Christmas party, y'all. It was a great time.
But it was great. The food was so
good.
good. The fellowship was great.
Yeah, it was
I
great to
love
see
that
everybody.
this year we tried to do a Soul Train line at the end.
Yeah, that was.
Well, because we found out that one of our ladies is a DJ.
Right.
So the music was like really good. There was a lot of like.
It got turned up good. I mean, we had kind of like the party Christmas music playing because I was like, I don't.
Yeah, but then she was like, "Can I do the music?" We were like, "Sure."
It went great. It was good.
It was good. It was a good party.
Yeah, so it was great. We had a good time, and then we cleaned up until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 something probably.
Yeah, and then we came
So
home.
we had a good time. So shout out to y'all for the Christmas party. Yeah, so that's what's been happening.
Yeah, and then we'll do more festive things come Christmas Eve.
We will. Christmas Eve services.
Christmas Eve
We're
services.
very excited about that. So,
Okay, so moving on to as seen on social media. I'm sure you all have seen Jamie Foxx has a special on Netflix, and we watched it.
We did.
What did you think?
Well, Jamie Foxx, as you know, he was had like a stroke earlier this year. When was it? I don't remember the exact.
I don't know.
It was early this year.
Or did Diddy get to him?
That's crazy. That's what he said. Cat Williams said. But was that earlier this year, right?
It was earlier this year. He does a really good Cat Williams impression.
Yeah, he does. He had a stroke earlier this year, so he was kind of like off the grid.
Yeah.
And this was kind of like his coming out. I hadn't really seen much about him until he dropped this Netflix special. Now, it was just to say it was good to see him like healthy, fine, especially having a stroke. I mean, some people have strokes and they don't recover, their physical movement or their mental capacity or their life, So for him to have a stroke and be back full health, it looks like, I mean, that's really great. So man, thank God for that. And so it was really good. I thought it was I really felt the feeling that it was really just his story. Yeah. So I will say it was kind of portrayed as like it was a comedy special.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't a comedy special.
It was not.
He did some parts where he had jokes because Jamie Foxx is a funny person. He had some good jokes in there, but it was more so just him really telling the story of.
So you can hear it from him and not keep thinking that something happened
somebody
to him.
got to him. He said he had a some type of brain thing.
He had a stroke.
Had a stroke. Was in the hospital. Had to go through rehab and physical therapy to like regain his movement and all of that stuff.
And he had to go to like mental health therapists. Like he had to go through a lot.
Yeah, to kind of get back. I did think, one thing I liked about it was I do think it was great to see him, in his full range of abilities. I mean, as you said, his impersonation, his Cat Williams impersonation is hilarious.
Was great.
But his impersonations of people is truly hilarious. Like,
I don't know how he like captures them so well.
No, I don't know either. But he came out the gate kind of with the Cat Williams impersonation, which I thought was hilarious. His Donald Trump impersonation is hilarious.
So good.
So those are really two I really remember. His impersonation was really good. And then it's almost like even in the impersonations or even in the midst of it, he mixed in like almost like it felt like he was preaching a little bit. He
was.
Like it was like I felt like it was a comedy sermon, but then he was cussing too. But then, so
he was doing it in his Jamie Foxx way.
He was doing it his own way, So, but it felt like a long testimony and a sermon mixed in with comedy, mixed in with music,
and then it was church at the end.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, so
I thought it was good. I really did enjoy how he basically was giving honor to God. You don't see a lot of people doing that. And so I hope that there are people that see it that may not be close to God or have fallen away from God that are like, oh, maybe I should give God another chance. Right. Maybe I'll try Jesus again.
Right.
Because he was very firm in his like, no, this is strictly like a God thing. Yeah. Or I would be dead I'd be dead right now.
Right.
And it was really touching to see like him even get emotional about it.
Yeah, he was crying.
And then he was crying. And then see I did not know he had a younger daughter. Mm-mm. She's beautiful with all that hair. Of course, she's just as talented as he is because, I mean,
absolutely.
Her father is Jamie Foxx. So it was really nice to see them up there even being able to, like, play music together and, like, sing together. And he talked about how, she basically helped save his life. And It was just a really good story. I don't like how they branded it as a comedy,
Yeah.
but they probably wouldn't have gotten people to watch it.
I mean, they might have. I mean, on Netflix, Jamie Foxx. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. It may not have. I mean, it definitely came off. I thought it was going to be a comedy thing. I thought, oh, Jamie Foxx.
I thought it was going to be a
got
comedy.
a hot new hour. Like, oh man, he back. He you know what I'm saying? Back on the stage doing comedy. It's amazing too. I think just a side note of how many people started like doing stand up.
Yeah.
Like so many people got their start.
He said he said he started
in 91
in 91 in Atlanta.
Yeah, like I mean, he did stand up. Martin did stand up.
They've
Steve
all
Harvey
done it.
started stand up. Like I think it really is amazing how Steve Harvey. Well, yeah, he was doing stand up. Yeah, like how many people started. I mean, we know like people like Kevin Hart and all, but even like it's just so many people that like they got their start like doing comedy shows and doing little stages and like I think that's phenomenal to just the amount of people that like started in stand up.
Yeah,
and
now
like,
look at
they
him.
rolled it into music careers, and Steve Harvey rolled it into daggone everything, acting careers and clothing lines, but it's like they literally is like, oh no, I started doing little hole in the wall clubs in Philly or in New York or in LA or Atlanta.
But Jamie is
whatever,
the most talented.
Man, Jamie Foxx is he is the definition of the word when I think of, and it's more than that, but when I think of Jamie Foxx, I think of gifted.
Very.
He's just a gifted like person. I don't think he's not just talented. I think when I think of him, like he's gifted.
Yeah.
Like this man does so many things excellent. He's super funny.
Yeah.
He's an amazing singer, vocalist. He's an amazing as a piano player. I can appreciate. He's an
great
amazing musician. He can play,
and he can actually act.
He's a
which a lot of
phenomenal
times,
actor.
like actors, I mean, like artists cannot act.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
It's like
Not at
this
that
isn't
level.
this isn't
I mean,
like it's not transitioning well.
No, sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. It just, he's one of those like 5 talent people. Like and you mentioned this the other night about like Beyonce, right? She's a phenomenal, one of the best ever artists, singers, dancers.
She is.
She can flat out sing.
Like no one can outdo
Beyonce.
But
she's not a great actor.
No,
she's been in
not.
some roles, but she's not a great actor. I mean, she get her roles and
I'm not gonna lie. When she comes on the screen, sometimes
but no one thinks of her as a she's not going to Oscar no time soon. I don't think as an actor or actress rather. But the thing that she does though, she might be the best in the world.
She is the best in the world at what she does.
Dancing, flat out can sing, can write, can art, just the artist aura, the celebrity aura. She has that draw of like can drop an album right now out of nowhere and people will be flocking to. By the end of the day, it'd be articles about like she did a few years ago. I can't remember what record it was, but
she's great.
You know what I mean?
At she's a great artist.
But what she does is
she's
flat
great.
out.
No one else can do it. Like
but it's like Jamie Foxx is like, oh, what you do is like all those things, and you're actually great at all of those.
Yeah,
I think of him as just a gifted individual. And I don't think we really don't have anybody else like him that can do that many things
don't think
that
so.
well.
I can't
people
think
may
of
do
anyone.
some of them. People may say, "Oh, I do a few things," but are you doing them as well as musician, acting, and also comedy?
Comedy?
As well,
Yeah,
to where
no,
If
I
he wanted
don't
to be a stand-up comedian, he could just be a stand-up comedian. He could go on tour and just run his hour. Like if he wanted to do that, and people would be there laughing. I would be there. You know what I mean? Like So it's kind of
I don't
amazing.
know if anyone does
even a
it.
Kevin Hart, it's like super funny. Obviously, stand up. He does great at that. His acting has gotten better.
It's gotten a lot
He's gotten a lot better. He's getting there. But those probably 2 things. I mean, he's still not Jamie Foxx acting though. You know what I mean? He ain't about to win no Oscar no time soon. You know what I mean? So even him being as great as he is.
Did he win any awards?
No, he won not no Academy Awards.
Okay, no.
So I think that is amazing to see. So his special was good. Like I said,
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great. I mean, but I don't really, people talking about he gave honor to God. I mean, I almost feel like that's become more acceptable to do now, though.
You think so?
I do. I don't think it's as like, it's not as far-fetched for an artist or someone to be like, oh man, I think God give honor to God. Like, I don't think it's as, I don't know. I feel like the stigma has kind of changed. Not that it's cool to be a Christian, but I think that is a little bit of like, I don't think it's far-fetched for anyone to be surprised as a black Christian in the South to say, I give honor to God.
I see what you're saying.
And I think that does, and this is not a knock on Jamie Foxx's salvation. I don't know if that brother's saved or not. I don't have a heaven and hell to put him in. But I don't think that it's like, I think in the black community, giving honor to God is almost like culturally the thing that people do. But are you really living with God? That's a different conversation. I don't know if he is or not. I cannot say. But I don't think it's as far-fetched for a black artist to say, oh, I give honor to God. I'm glad to be alive. Like, that's not even far-fetched. I don't think it's surprising to me.
I don't know that man's salvation either. But
not at all.
The only thing I just thought it was nice to hear someone as big as Jamie Foxx say that and like stand 10 toes down on it. And then, like, I don't know his salvation, but like, but sometimes I think too, like, hopefully that will bring someone to Christ.
Maybe it will. I mean, I think about like Steve Harvey. He always gives honor to God before his shows and all his stuff. He said, I never started his show without saying God is everything to me. That's like
I didn't know he started that.
He's been doing that for years. I don't know if he still does. I remember it was a long time. Like, that's what he did. Like, he started his comedy shows, like all that stuff, giving honor to God. Like, that was his thing.
I didn't know that.
And I think he still talks about God. Like, I don't listen to Steve Harvey, but I'm not saying he still openly talks about God. But that's been a thing he's done for a long time. So I guess for him, it ain't really no new. It's like, y'all know me. I'm Steve Harvey, but also I'm gonna give honor to God.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I don't know.
I think Jamie Foxx a church kid. Like, he grew up, you know. So anyway, that's
I'll say, honey, that's a whole thing about being the church kid. Like, we were the church kids.
You know, every other R&B artist grew up in church. I mean, I think, you know. So anyway,
either way,
but yeah, it was great. I thought it was good. I wasn't as good as I expected it to be, but I think probably because I thought it would be.
I thought it was going to be funnier.
Yeah, I was looking
because I thought it was a comedy.
Yeah,
but
it was Atlanta saved his life.
Yeah, but I appreciated it. I liked his whole thing about how he's not a clone. And then, of course, I open up social media this morning and people are like, are you sure, Jamie? Like, I saw a couple of like posts like,
that's a shame.
I don't know.
Funny where he was like, you know, he was out at the store or something with his daughter or something. He's like, he could hear a guy be like, man, that ain't him. Nah, they don't even look like him. Good, that ain't him for real. You know, it's just really ignorant people. But
and then I also saw something else about Jamie that happened, I think, like over the weekend, where he was at a restaurant and a glass was thrown and it hit his face to the point where he had to be rushed to the hospital and get like stitches.
Lord, is somebody trying to take this man out? Like, what is going on? That's crazy. No, you said it was just like this weekend.
Was over the weekend.
That's crazy. Well,
so he's fighting for his life.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm praying for him. So. Yeah, so it was great. If you guys seen it, you know, check it out. I mean,
yeah, let us know your thoughts on it.
It's not kid friendly, so you know.
Yeah, it's absolutely not kid friendly.
Jamie Foxx, you know, doing his thing. So, but it was great to see him just as healthy as a person. He's a cultural influence, you know, in a lot of ways. So. Yeah,
I loved him when I used to watch.
He had his show.
And Live in Color, and then the Jamie Foxx show.
Yeah, like he had a whole show. I mean, he's done a lot.
Yeah, but I liked him in Live in Color.
Yeah.
In Live in Color, you can do
so
what you wanna do. Did you used to watch that?
Sometimes.
Okay. Anything else on Jamie?
Nope.
No. Okay. Well, we do have a question, and it is, hello. How can we navigate social media as Christians and set boundaries that protect our faith?
How do you think? I mean, you have a large social media following. You know, how do you navigate that? You're probably on there more than I am.
I am. I am chronically online.
I mean, I'm on there, but you actually have a large following on social media.
I am chronically online.
What are you at? 30,000? On
TikTok.
On TikTok,
which is about to be banned, so it doesn't really matter.
It does matter. Archer's a social media star. If y'all didn't know that,
I'm not. I'm not. So for me, I put the block to use.
Okay.
I do. No, I'm serious. Like, sometimes things will come up and it'll say, are you interested? And I'd be like, no, I'm not. I don't want that on my page. Right. Do not show that to me. Right. Or sometimes I will proactively block people, or I will purposely like not look at certain things because I'm like, I know me, and I know sometimes I can't handle a lot at one time, because then you get into the comparison trap and get into the envy and coveting other people's things. So I will sometimes purposely like block you, and not because you're doing anything bad or whatever. It's just I don't need to see it. If I'm trying to keep focused on God, I don't need to see like all of the things you're doing. And now I'm talking to God like, well, why I ain't got it?
Right.
Why don't I have it?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of like things I just don't, it's blocked. I put, I'm not interested in it. I don't want to see it. I don't follow that many people because I just don't want to see it. I just don't. So a lot of times I go on social media and I scroll a little bit and then be like, all right, well, that's enough.
Right. Yeah, I think that social media is so, I mean, golly, it's amazing how it's become, you know, we grew up where there was no social media.
Yeah.
And now to see it be, it's not even just a one thing. Like it is an entire industry. It's an entire platform. It's an entire entire businesses have been built off of this.
Yes.
Industries have started because of social media. So I always have like not a love-hate, but just a
it is like a love-hate though.
It's necessary, I think, now. I think it's necessary now more
Oh
than
yeah.
ever
If you are
because,
if you're like a business or whatever and you don't have any type of social media, it's like automatic red flag. Like why?
Yeah. And I think about this for us as a church, right? Hey, we got social media. Like I can't tell you the amount of people that have found our church. Oh yeah, we saw y'all on Instagram. We saw y'all on TikTok. We saw y'all on Facebook. Like people, most time when they come, I was scrolling on Instagram, man. Like y'all popped up and it happens all the time, but it's been enough to where like that is probably that's probably the big front door for us as a church is social media, or people invite people, but it's social media. And so I always go back and forth because sometimes I'd be like, I'm just gonna get off here for a season. But then I'd be like, I'm promoting stuff for the church, and not that God needs my social media promotion, but it's a tool. So I would say we always got to keep it in its place that it is a tool. One, social media is not real life. And so when you talk about the comparison thing, I've had to unfollow people. I've had to unfollow ministries. I've had to unfollow a lot of things to just be like, you know what? When I see that, it causes me to hate my life. Not hate, but you get what I'm saying?
You get like upset about it.
Like, dang, God, why this, da-da-da? I've had to unfollow accounts. I've had to get off, I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok. I spend probably more time on Instagram, on Facebook. If I told you, like, if I want to talk to my, my parents and my parents' friends, be on Facebook. Or people that I grew up,
Yeah.
But I think that, so the question is, how do we navigate it? I think we keep it in its proper place. Like, it is some good things about it. Social media can be used as a great platform for marketing.
I've learned, I've learned a lot.
You can meet some cool people if you're kind of messaging people. You can spread the gospel if you're interested in doing that, and it can reach many people. Like, I found so many people, I found this person on social media. Like, man, I've been following them ever since. I mean, so many people like we found on, I see them on Instagram, I follow this pastor, and man, they have some good words or whatever.
But you have to keep it in its place.
Yeah, you have to keep it in its place and realize it's not real life, like you have to still go and live. Who are your real friends? Who are people in your life? But then also too, I think that you have to manage your time well with it as well. Listen, I like iPhone where you can like see your screen time because it will show you what you've been on this phone doing. Like, because if you spend hours or this on that, but like it's like, man, your time, you may have more time than you think to accomplish what you want. I know I think about that, but it's like, man, I spent the hour on that. I spent the 30 minutes on this. I spent 2 hours on this. It's like, oh my God, like I'm sitting here talking about I don't have time to do X, Y, and Z, but I've been wasting time, on Instagram, on TikTok or whatever. That's been part of it. And then I think too, knowing your boundaries as well, like as far as like temptation, if you see things that, draw your mind back to the dark place, I know I have to be mindful of that. I have to guard my eyes as well. Obviously, social media can be, it is what you can find whatever you're looking for. That's for doggone sure. You can find whatever you're looking for. You're looking for holiness, you can find holiness. If you're looking for lust, you can find lust. Okay, so it is what it is, and y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So I think for me, I try to be mindful of like, if I see things that I'm like, let me get off here, because that it might not have been explicit, but it took my mind. I saw one shake too many. It took my mind. So let me get off of there because that caught my eye too bad. It caught my eye too bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think for me, we were having a conversation about this in our men's group one time. And, one person was like, why you not on social media for? He's like, I'm not on there because my eyes don't stay right. So I just don't be on there.
Yeah, and for some people,
and I think let me say,
go ahead.
For some people, that's not their thing. For some people, they don't care about that. But for some, but once again, you got to know where you at. You got to know what your boundaries are. You have to know what triggers your heart, your mind, your whatever the case may be. So it's all those things, right? If it's a comparison thing and that's a struggle, stay off of there. If it's a lust thing and you be looking at this and that, stay off of there. If it's a time consuming thing, time management thing, you got to put boundaries around it. I don't think it's always like all or nothing, but I think it's like everything, and it's like many things in this world. It's like you have to know, where your strong points are. You have to know where you're strong and where you're weak, and you have to be willing to put boundaries in place to like maintain your walk with Christ in the midst of the social media world. Yeah. Because saying just don't be on there altogether, it's like
that's not. I mean, that's realistic.
That's valid for some people.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's realistic. It is realistic, but I think too. I was listening to someone. I believe it was Jackie Hill Perry and her husband Preston Perry. They were talking about this recently of like, it's not always all or nothing, but sometimes it's seasonal. Maybe you take, and this is what they said. Maybe you take this week and I'm not going to be on it. Maybe 2 days a week you don't be on. Maybe this month, hey, I'm not on social media. Like take a little detox to kind of get yourself plugged back into some real life. Read a book, read an article.
Go touch grass, as they say.
Right. I mean, it really is.
No, there are times though I have had to do that as well. On top of me just unfollowing and blocking, right? I have had to be like, you know what? For this like month,
for this month, yeah, I've done that too.
Where I can't do this right now. Like I'm just gonna be off. I'm unplugging.
Right. I'm gonna just talk to the people I see. And if I want to see somebody, I'm gonna text them. Hey, how are
I'm
you?
gonna call.
Hey, what's going on? Because I don't see that you went to DC and then you went to LA. I don't see that on your stories.
Yeah.
So I gotta find out from real people.
Yeah. So I've done that where I've just completely unplugged for a season because it was working my mind too bad. Right. But after I got a little bit stronger, I realized like I'm okay, and I would just block and unfollow everybody. But yeah, sometimes you do have to just unplug
for a bit,
so you can get like recentered.
Yeah,
like you said, read a book, go outside,
read a book,
listen to the birds chirping as you take a walk,
go to the gym, go talk to a real person,
go call somebody.
And I think during the time where like I think I did at the beginning of this year, I was off the first month of the year, like in January. I was not on social media. The only time I got on was maybe less than 10 times on our church page to update something for our church page, because I think I was managing at the time. I was posting stuff at the time for the church. It was the only time I did. But I wasn't scrolling. Just posted that, got off, whatever. But I wasn't on my personal stuff. Wasn't scrolling. And I found that it took a little minute to kind of like, because it is that boredom do kind of like, you be like, dang, I really be on my phone. I really be on these apps, because like that boredom set in quick, and you like,
what am I gonna do now?
Or when you go somewhere and you're like waiting on something, or you say you're waiting. And like for my job, I have to go out. So say I'm waiting on a person for an appointment. And say I'm sitting at the Starbucks and I'm just, normally I take my phone out. I'll wait till they pull up or whatever. And I'm like, dang, let me pull this book out. Yeah. Let me pull this, or I got my phone. Let me read this Bible. Like, and that shouldn't be the last resort, but like, it does make you like, dang, let me read a book. Let me do something other than just watch other people's lives.
Yeah, very true. I have literally started taking books with me everywhere for that reason, because I know that I have I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I like being online. I like social media. So, but I try to set boundaries on it. So if I am waiting at the doctor or something, I'm reading a book instead of being online. Like while I'm waiting at swim practice with the kids, I'm reading my book. I'm trying not to be online, because there's a whole world out here. Right. And I'm trying to like keep myself centered.
Yeah, I think that's helpful too. Like I started doing that. I keep a book in my car, and I take it with me sometimes. And sometimes for my job, I'll have to go to like places where it's not a good signal, like out in the boondocks somewhere. But I found that, because sometimes you can find stuff doing your phone, even if it's not social media. But just having that book with me, oh man, let me just read a chapter. Let me just read a few pages. Little stuff like that. I noticed I would do that, especially earlier this year. It just helped to kind of, and I think that there's something for me. There was something settling about reading.
It's calming.
Like it's sometimes can be boring, and I don't mean boring in like boring, but it can be a sense of like healthy boredom, to where you got to slow down, read the pages, read the book, flip the like. It is something. It's something calming about it.
It has helped my anxiety
that I don't always
tremendously.
like about it. And I'm like, I don't want to be calm. I want to scold and laugh. But
Yeah.
there's something calming about just reading a book and reading. I do think that's helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It has reading books has helped a lot with anxiety for me.
Yeah.
Because I can't, when you're reading a book, you can't like, you
really
have to
can't.
just
Just
read the
read,
book.
yeah.
So you're you're calm.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're
that's valid.
calm. So it has helped a lot with like anxiety for me. So if you have anxiety, I do suggest it.
Yeah. So
Maybe just finding a good book, one that you find interesting, and just reading it.
That may be. Archer likes reading,
I like read. Well, right now I'm into fantasies.
fantasy, but I can't read about it. I would watch.
It's like
that.
science fiction, fantasy stuff.
I want to read
but
10 steps to grow your leadership.
I don't want to read that. That sounds boring.
I want to read that. How to grow your leadership. How to be a team player. John Maxwell. Leaders ask great questions. I want to read that because I'm like, I want to be a better leader.
I do too, but I'd rather watch it.
How to grow the church.
I'd watch that.
Church growth principles.
I'd
36
watch
of
that.
them.
I like watching leadership stuff. I love watching documentaries, but I don't want to read it.
No, I want to read about that. I want to
No,
read
that sounds
about growth.
that sounds
leadership,
boring.
Mindset, business.
No. But so yeah, back to the question of
I was
setting.
about to say we got off the question.
Sorry. Back to the question of setting boundaries with your social media. Sometimes you just gotta block people.
You sometimes got to block people.
You gotta block them. You gotta unfollow.
Yeah.
You gotta click the little tab that says "I'm not interested."
And to that point too, even we getting over our time.
Yeah.
Even to who you follow, right? I know big things, especially as believers, right? As a Christian, it's so many people we have access to.
Yeah.
That's not your local church pastor. Okay, you can find the best preachers, the best people. But I would say even mindful of the people you follow who are believers. Like, do some research on these people.
Yeah.
Find out, are they just on here talking on videos? Like, where they church at? What church they belong to? Who they pastor? Or they talking about they a prophet? Who they submitted under? Or where they church at?
Yeah.
Go research their church. Find out who these people are in real life, not just who their persona is being presented on TikTok or on Instagram. So I think even like influencers, people get on, and I make my little videos online. But I also, and not that I'm better than anybody because I'm a pastor of a church, but I also like, guys, I'm not just on here making videos. We actually lead a local body as well. Like, it's real people that know me really as Pastor Corey. Like, I see them every week. Like, so it's not just a online persona of pastor, but it's like, no, like it's real people that we are doing our best to be accountable to. And you can find out evidence of that. You know what I mean? There's like, and I see some, sometimes you see people, this person's Bishop Jones. It's like, what's their church? It's like, you ain't got no evidence. They're a bishop of what? You know what I mean? Like, where they church at? And I was like, in this day and age, you should be able to find some evidence of people's real ministry, not just their online ministry. I believe there should be some track record of people who are like, and not to say that online ministry is not valid, because I think it is valid.
Yeah.
But you should be anchored by someone who is real as well. Like, so I said all that to say that when you're following these people online, these influencers, and they may be saying good stuff, teaching word, TikTok, find out like, who you connected to for real, like who knows you in real life, because I think that is valid as well. Like, so these people that you get information from, or you're following, that they may be doing lives and they may be doing online classes, and it's like they should have some evidence of a local body that they're connected to as well. It's like, oh, I'm in Raleigh, like, yeah, I got an online platform, I got 100,000 followers on TikTok, but also I go to Summit Church right on Capitol, like my pastor is JD Greer, like I go to World Overcomers, I've been there for 10 years with Pastor Andy Thompson, like, you know what I mean, I go to the Rock Church, right, you know what I mean, I've been pastor, like I'm anchored, there's someone that knows me locally. I think that's important as well. So as you're following people who, they may be good influence and they may have good information, I'm not saying they don't, but they should also be anchored. They should also be, I say they should also be, they should also be anchored by a local body. There should be some evidence of people that know them in real life and not just their online persona.
I agree.
So I would say do some research on people that you follow and that are preaching to you as well. Find out who they are beyond just their TikTok, if you're, especially if you're able. So that's social media and boundaries for that,
Yeah, but you also need boundaries, because that's how then people get into these like parasocial relationships.
Yeah.
Where they don't like know the person, but they feel like they know the person.
But you don't know them.
And then they're freaked out when like things happen. It's because you've been online too long.
Right.
Like, you need to go outside.
And you don't know them. Just know that if you just know them on TikTok and Instagram and
you
Facebook,
don't know these
you don't
people.
know them. You don't know them. You don't know their real attitude. You think
don't know
do.
Anything.
They show up on camera.
Which is really hard now for the kids because where we didn't grow up with social media, they grow up with like all this stuff. Yeah. So even with Elena and stuff, sometimes Ezra, we watch things together and I'd be like, that's not real.
Right. No one just sits and opens toys all day long.
No. And I have to like explain to them like that's not real. And even for them, we say, all right, well, that's enough. Right. You guys need to go outside.
Eating giant gummy bears for dinner. Like no one's doing that. You know what I mean? Like that's a YouTuber. They're not doing that for real.
And then we have them go play outside because like that's enough.
Ride your bike. Yeah. And I think that's good for them and they need to keep doing that.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all.
Yep. Well, set some boundaries, block people. It's okay. Unfriend them, unfollow.
Right.
It's all right. Tell the algorithm that you're not interested in that video or that post that you saw. It's better for you that way. It is. It's very true. Okay.
Well, Rock Church, we'll see y'all on Sunday. And then we'll see y'all again. Don't forget Christmas Eve. We have 2 services on Christmas. This is the first time we're doing 2 services at our church.
And I'm excited.
I'm excited too. It's going to be awesome. We have a Christmas Eve service at 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m.
Yes.
Each service is going to be about an hour long, 2 services. So it's the first time in the history of our church we're doing 2 services. So excited. So I want y'all to invite everybody that you know in the whole city of Raleigh. We're going to pack in there Christmas Eve with our families.
All of your coworkers, your friends, all of your family coming into town.
All your family. Bring your family in town. If you want to come to the early service and go to dinner or have dinner and then come to the 5:30, it's still going to be early enough to get home and do all your things. So we'll see y'all on Sunday and Christmas Eve.
See you later.
Peace.